Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to English class. Still with me, Miss Riris. Alright, before we start our lesson, I would like to ask you, how are you doing? Hopefully, you will always be fine. Right guys, so today we are going to study about narrative text. But before, would you please to subscribe my channel first? Thank you very much. Right. Alright guys, so in this video, we will learn about definition of narrative text, types of narrative text with the example as bonus, but I will, attach it in the link below. And then the third one is genetic structure and grammatical features of narrative text. So, prepare your pen or a pencil, a paper, and let's have fun. Alright guys, so let's begin with the definition of narrative text. So what is narrative text? Narrative text is a kind of story where complication dominantly places participants into conflicts. Jadi dalam narrative text itu pelakunya itu pasti kena konflik, pasti ada konflik. And it could come from a personal experience or imagination. Jadi yang kita tahu sebelumnya mungkin narrative text itu adalah imaginative story atau cerita yang berasal dari imajinasi. Ternyata tidak hanya dari imajinasi kita saja, tetapi bisa juga itu berdasarkan personal experience kita. Nah, contohnya di sini, The Story of Cinderella. Ini adalah imaginative story atau cerita yang berasal dari imajinasi seseorang di masa lalu. Nah, because the story has complication, so it could be entertaining and educating the readers. Jadi, karena dalam cerita naratif teks itu pasti ada konflik, yang artinya itu bisa saja menghibur atau bisa juga memberikan edukasi bagi si reader atau pembaca. So, we can say that social function of narrative text is to entertain or to amuse the reader with a story. Jadi, social function dari narrative text ini adalah to entertain, untuk menghibur. Here, there are types of narrative text. The first one is fairy tale. Fairy tale itu kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia dongeng. Jadi ini benar-benar kayak negeri dongeng gitu. For example, Cinderella, Snow White, Tinkerbell, Thumbelina, and etc. And then the second one is folklore. Folklore in Indonesian means cerita rakyat. For example, Malin Kundang, kemudian ada si Kabayan, and etc. Itu folklore. And then the third one is fable. Fable itu cerita binatang. For example, the turtle and the rabbit, or maybe the crocodile and the rabbit, and etc. And then the fourth one is legend. Legend means legenda. For example, the legend of Gunung Tangkuban Perahu, Lake Toba, or maybe Situ Bagendit, and etc. And then the fifth one is myth. Myth in Indonesian means mitos. For example, the myth of Batara Kala. We don't know Batara Kala itu ada atau enggak, kita nggak tahu, tapi dipercaya ada. Itu namanya mitos. And then science fiction. Itu contohnya film-film sekarang tuh, zaman sekarang, fiksi-fiksi yang berasal dari pemikiran ilmu pengetahuan itu science fiction. Dan selain dari keenam jenis naratif teks yang ditulis di sini, sebenarnya ada banyak lagi jenis-jenis naratif teks. For example, horror story, romance story, mystery, and etc. You can explore it. Okay? So, next. Is narrative text really able to use personal experience? So, what's the difference between narrative text and recount text? Okay, we can see from this image, recount text itu kayak kejadian yang memang diulangi lagi, diceritakan kembali, dan konfliknya itu tidak memuncak. Itu recount text. And narrative text, it is like dongeng yang pasti ada konfliknya gitu. Let's see from the definition. Recount text means retelling events of experience. Menceritakan kembali events atau kejadian-kejadian berdasarkan pengalaman. While narrative text is a story with complication. Jelasnya, in recount text, retelling the experience in a sequence of events without any conflicts. While narrative is telling the story or factual experience with a conflict appeared by the author. Jadi dalam naratif teks itu dia menceritakan dongeng atau cerita baik imajinatif atau factual experience dengan konflik yang dimunculkan. Jadi pasti ada konflik yang muncul. Nah, we can see from the generic structure of narrative text here. There are orientation, rising action or complication, and then climax, and then falling action or resolution, and reorientation. Jadi, in orientation, penulis itu mengenalkan siapa pelakunya, apa ceritanya, bagaimana, kapan, di mana. And then after that, there is rising action or complication. Di complication ini, konflik itu mulai muncul, kemudian mencuat hingga klimaks. Ada klimaksnya, betul-betul konflik itu terjadi. Nah, setelah itu baru falling action atau adanya resolution atau resolusi atau solusi. Nah, setelah itu baru reorientation atau penutup. Gitu. Itu adalah generic structure of narrative text. Itu berbeda dengan recount text. Jelas karena di sini ada klimaksnya. Well, now if we would like to make a narrative text, we need to know the grammatical features of narrative text itself. We need to use simple past tense, past continuous tense, and past perfect tense. Why? Because in narrative text, story was happened in the past time or just imaginative story. Jadi ini tuh belum tentu terjadi, dan kalaupun itu adalah factual experience, artinya itu sudah berlalu. So we need to use past tense. Right, here's simple past tense. For example, in an early morning, she woke up with a beautiful face. Dia menggunakan verb to, woke up. Okay, the next one, past continuous tense. For example, she was writing a letter when her father called her. Dia sedang menulis surat. Was writing. Dia menggunakan to be plus verb ing. Dan to be-nya itu to be past, yaitu was dan were. And then the next one, past perfect tense. For example here, she had picked the flower before the beast came. Jadi dia sudah memetik bunga sebelum the beast datang. Jadi ini terjadi sebelum sesuatu yang lain terjadi di masa lalu, dan itu menggunakan pola had plus verb 3. Had picked. She had picked the flower. Okay. And then we use direct speech, indirect speech. Direct speech itu dalam bahasa Indonesia itu artinya kalimat langsung. Of course, this is a story, dan dalam sebuah story itu memang baiknya hidup. Nah, story yang hidup itu cirinya adalah adanya direct speech. For example, she said, "If you would like, give me a red rose when you come back home." Dia berkata, katanya. Nah, itu adalah direct speech. Apa yang dikatakannya langsung disebutkan di situ. And then the second one is indirect speech or reported speech. For example here, Her father promised her that he would bring a beautiful flower. Papanya berjanji pada dia bahwa dia akan membawakan sebuah bunga yang cantik. Jadi dia akan membawakan sebuah bunga yang cantik itu tidak dikatakan langsung, tetapi dilaporkan atau disebutkan kembali oleh si author. Gitu. And then the next one is noun phrase. Nah, singkatnya noun phrase itu adalah sekumpulan kata yang difungsikan sebagai kata benda. Jadi ada kata benda misalnya dengan sifatnya atau dengan jumlahnya. For example, a beautiful flower or a red rose. A beautiful girl, a handsome boy, and etc. That's noun phrase. Okay, the next one is using adverbs of time and action verbs. Well, in adverbs of time, in narrative text biasanya kita menggunakan kata once upon a time. Di suatu hari, zaman dahulu kala, one day, then, the next morning, the next day, later, meanwhile, at the same time, finally, at the end of the story, and etc. Itu contohnya adverbs of time. Jadi dalam naratif teks itu biasanya has once upon a time, one day, and etc. Then we use action verbs. For example, stayed, climbed, sang, slept, run, spoke, sat, woke up, and etc. Karena kita menggunakan tenses yang bentuknya past, jadi kita banyak menggunakan verb 2 or verb 3 in past perfect. Gitu. Alright guys, now you have known that everyone can be an author for his own story and be the one of them. Because you can be a writer or an author for your own story too. Good luck and see you again in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you would like to. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.